This handed over a lot of powerful picks in the first game, and they're playing their ban phase quite a bit better this time, not giving away Cassidy, not going to be giving away the Thresh or Twitch pickup either.
They had a much better pick ban last game as opposed to first game in general, so we'll see. Jack's the first pick.
And Rock did very well against Prime in the first match. In Prime, Hanlabong didn't do too well on the jungle follow. So if I was the JAF Falcons, I'd be looking to get that lane swap in because they were so successful with it in game one and getting a big advantage for Rock very early in the game. Kha'Zix may be taken by Old B this time around, therefore forcing Vin likely onto an Elise pickup.
When you look at Jax's hood there, do you think maybe it's just Master Yi wearing a bigger cloak?
Must be. Maybe. They're really the same person. Yi is what happens when you give Jax a sword.
That's right. That's why he's not allowed to have weapons, because then he becomes the most toxic champion in all of League of Legends. Teleport jungle Master Yi.
The Korean solo queue staple. So they're going to be taking away the Twitch this time after the Lucian ban. So what will the JAF Falcons play? We don't know a lot about Pilot. Pilot did great on Twitch in the first game.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it's a good takeaway for Prime, I think.
It's going to be, looks like a mid lane Lulu.
Okay.
And therefore, we may see a Kog'Maw here for some Protect the Cog action from Nami and Lulu.
Could definitely see that. Who will the jungler be? That's a big question for JAF right now.
This would also be a very good composition for Jinx.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Or Vayne. Vayne would do really well here as well.
On the bong, thinking about grabbing that Renekton, it looks like.
Didn't have an awesome Renekton performance in the first game. But Morgana. So Qualifiers going to go for a different support champion in each of his 3 games tonight. So we're seeing many sides of Qualifiers this evening.
Yeah. There we go. And it is always nice to have that deep champion pool for Qualifiers.
Now, Prime Optimus going for a pretty hard pick composition here. The hard CC from Morgana, the local isolation damage from Twitch and, Kha'Zix rather, and then the ambush from Twitch. So they're setting up for a lot of single target CC, a lot of single target damage. There's some stealth with Twitch.
There's that possible Kog'Maw that you were talking about, and I think that's a pretty good prediction.
Problem is with Kog'Maw Nami is that if you do get into a 2v2, a Morg binding can just destroy you because of how squishy that lane is. And Vayne Nami is a very strong lane.
You know, if you get that 2v1 though, not a lot to worry about. And there's the Elise pick for Vin. Okay. Pretty standard stuff. Now, what will the final pick be for Prime? Who's going to the mid lane? What do you think?
It's a little bit hard to tell right now. Prime doesn't have the best engage at the moment. They could go for that, and this would be one of those Twitch Nidalee pick compositions where you use the Morgana binding to set up a spear.
Yeah.
That could be really effective.
Yep. That combined with Twitch's damage leads to
Orianna.
Quick dead people.
There's not a really great way to get the ball in besides Kha'Zix. You can do it though during the 2 seconds of Kha'Zix invisibility if you're clever about it.
Yeah.
So it's not the worst way either. It's just thoroughly mediocre, but it does give them a little bit less of an emphasis on creating picks. While they can still create picks, it does diversify them into some pretty nice late game 5v5 as well.
Yeah. Oh, but there's the Ziggs. Anti-push.
Yeah, but bad
really
engage.
Fit their comp, though. Yeah.
They have very bad engage. And not great siege either. They're going to be able to turtle for a long time here, but their actual engage is kind of limited to really a Morgana binding.
Yeah.
And that is really dangerous. So they're going to have to rely very heavily on creating picks before they can actually take objectives. On the other hand, JAF Falcons coming at it with a pretty well-rounded composition. Great engage. Nami tied away, followed up by a counter-strike from Jax. They also have the Jax jump with the wild growth, so they're going to be feeling much more comfortable in 5v5s, generally speaking. I think that Ziggs was maybe not a good pick compared to the Orianna.
Yeah, it's a bit suspect, but Ziggs is so popular these days. I mean,
especially with Orianna, you're going to have more of an opportunity to force battles And if you don't want that Jax to scale, basically, sure, Ziggs is going to scale up into the late game, but Ziggs isn't going to be able to stop a Jax split push.
Well, yeah,
so if you're just turtling with the Ziggs, you're going to be split to death by Jax in the end if you don't shut him down very early.
We have to think about the team fighting potential too, but enough about that. JAF Falcons versus Prime Optimus. A battle for a final seed out of Group B into Champion Summer. Who's going to take it? We're about to find out right after we get in the game. It's time. The last game. Who makes it? Who survives? Let's find out. And here we go. Welcome to Summoner's Rift match final. JAF Falcons versus Prime Optimus. And Pilot actually going with the butterfly Kog'Maw skin. Interesting. We never see that in Korea.
I love the Monarch Kog'Maw skin. I think it's fantastic. Most people prefer the Lion Dance, but I myself, I'm a butterfly Kog'Maw man.
I see. Why is that? Give us some more details.
I like the way he flutters when he runs.
Okay, there we go. All right, that's what we were looking for. Now I know.
The fireworks are cool on the ult and all, but nothing beats the fluttering of butterfly wings.
Ah, yes. I concur.
So early pink ward deep into the jungle, placed there by Vin. Now they did see he had a pink ward, and when he walked through that trinket ward in the brush, and they're going to clear it immediately. This is one of the dangers of actually starting pink ward onto Elise, is that if they see you have it, then they can usually guess where you put it down, and that's a lot of gold wasted for not a lot of game. Renekton just going to get rid of that ward immediately, so a bit of a waste of money. Now, with JAF Falcons, if they can just 4-1 split push properly, there's nearly nothing that Prime is going to be able to do. The only way they can actually engage is either by landing a binding, and even then, the amount of disengage from Lulu, Nami, and Elise, not going to make it easy. Twitch is going to have to flank, and that's dangerous. That's very dangerous.
Speaking of dangerous, a big invade, and Prime has no idea that this is happening. They're going to fight Zetchin immediately. Will they get a kill? There's the counter-strike. The flash from Zetchin. Oh, nice Aqua Prison from XD, and they might be able to get him. They will. First Blood. It is a night for support First Bloods, and I like it.
It's your kind of night, isn't it?
It's my kind of night. That's a pretty good start for the JAF Falcons.
Hanlebong is going to get an advantage up in the top lane, however. We'll see how they distribute the lanes. Looks like Pilot and XD are going to be heading into a 2v2, and the teleport used already, but Hanlebong up a few CS. We'll see how much experience Rock manages to pick up in that situation, but he will have a bit of a hard time up against that Renekton.
Now, only the flash used by Rock as far as summoners to pick up that first blood in the jungle go, so really clean, actually.
Yeah,
by JAF Falcons.
Zetchin using both summoners as well. That means he's in a lane where he's down 2 summoners already compared to his lane. So that means that Pilot and XD are going to be able to trade very aggressively early on without a whole lot of fear. Old B also quite low after taking that buff, so it looks like it will be. He's not even going to dare to go into the enemy jungle to try and take that blue buff away. He's playing scared.
Yep. Suppose you have to. Well, like you said, Rock versus Hanlebong. Hanlebong will have that little bit of an edge early on. We'll see if he can make anything out of it.
And yeah, this is like the only advantage that they have, and it's really minor.
Yep.
Compared to Vin, who'll be quite happy to see his blue buff still there.
Yeah. Wow, what a great start for the JAF Falcons right off the bat.
Yeah, looping around from the backside of the blue buff, and that's just a failure of level 1 warding from Prime Optimus as well.
Yeah.
If they did have a good ward on the backside of their red buff, and as soon as they cleared it out, they could have warded both entrances to their blue side jungle to make it safe, but they thought they were going to be able to take that, but I mean, that Jax Nami combo, that's a lot of hard CC to deal with at level 1.
Yeah. And Zetchin's positioning there too, kind of sitting in that brush with no wards, is especially dangerous. You have no idea who's coming through there. Nomaf gonna get a little bit of a push going early on, of course, at Ziggs versus Lulu, just like we saw, favoring Ziggs a little bit earlier. Early on, rather.
Pilot, the thing about Ziggs is that if you're playing against the Morgana Twitch combo, you're going to want to try and put that pressure down pre-6, because as soon as Ziggs hits 6, he's a lot easier to lane with thanks to his ultimate. You can get that long-range harass down. You can already get it down a little bit thanks to the Tidecaller's Blessing and the Bio-Arcane Barrage, but that's the power spike, and the Twitch pre-6 power spike is very strong in the laning phase against most other AD carries. So the fact that they are having to play very scared right here due to the utter lack of summoner spells and the possibility of an enemy jungler coming in, they're missing out on a lot, that's for sure. And they're missing out on a lot of CS right now as well. Pilot already nearly doubling the CS of Zetgen, even this early in the game. Nice dodge on the Cocoon. Yeah,
gets the satchel charge his way out of there. Doesn't need to use any summoners. He will back, but not too bad. Good escape from Nomaf.
Rock just playing it passively. Yes, he's down a lot of CS as well, but he should be confident the rest of his team can carry him through this and that he'll have an opportunity to start farming lanes a little bit later on. They've got the advantage right now. They're in a really good situation.
Yeah, Rock isn't too far down. Pressure from Pilot and XD continuing. So I suppose if you are going to be a Pilot, you're going to pick one of the flying AD carriers, I guess.
You have to.
Butterfly, Kog'Maw, and Corki.
Where is the Aviator Aurelia? That's the real question.
Why doesn't he play Quinn? Yeah. That's the real issue here. The burning questions. Where's Thorin when we need him to ask the hard questions, right?
Where is Quinn? Where is Aviator Aurelia? Well, Hanlebong can take a turret shot right there, but Rock immediately going to teleport back with the Vamp Scepter. He's helping his sustain. He's trying to just push Hanlebong back, get a little bit of a chance here to farm for longer. He does delay the recall ever so slightly.
Yeah. And every little bit counts.
Well, he had an opportunity right there, too, because he saw the cannon minion. It took a couple hits to go down, so just those little bitty movements in lane can buy you a bit of extra time.
Yeah. That's a really good point. I mean, just really heads up play, seeing that the cannon minion was going to be taken first by the tower. And so,
he's going to shove the wave right into the turret to make sure that it heads back his way. Hanlebong is going to cut it off, however.
Yeah.
And
that's a good
try
move.
to get a little bit of a freeze. Rock moving down, and they haven't seen him yet. They will see him now.
Rock is just a rolling stone this game, and Nomaf may be in trouble. He's walking right into Rock. Rock's going to flash with a counter strike, and they're going to get the kill. Vin manages to pick that one up. Rock going to be okay after those turret hits. Nice gank by Jin Air.
Really well coordinated. You could see the push in the bottom lane also resulting in XD roaming just for that little bit of additional safety.
Now for the blue buff. If they can take it.
Well, they really want to keep this away from Ziggs. Ziggs has his ultimate, however. We'll see if he decides to throw it out right here. He's not in range yet. Oh, but they forced it onto Old B, which is still a big win.
Yep, manages to smite it away, but still not where you want to put it. Ziggs really does need that blue buff too, so that's a significant blow to the mid lane of Prime Optimus.
Yeah, not only that, but GBM is actually out farming Nomaf in this matchup as well, so it's just going great for Jin Air across the board. They've jumped out to a 600 gold lead now. That may not seem like a lot, but they've got so much control right now.
That's right. Old B coming down to the bot lane. There we go, just getting that ultimate upgraded. Evolve first, of course, like we always see. And he's going to follow down into this brush. Or maybe just in the lane for a little while, actually. GBM with the roam. They're going to try to make a play onto Hanlebong here. Can they do it? There is a ward, and it's going to spot GBM coming in, so he's going to turn around. He's probably pretty aware that they know that he's on the way.
I really like how passively Rock is playing this. He just isn't trying to be the hero right here. He knows that all he has to do is just try and keep up reasonably well. He is down 20 CS, but you could expect that 10 minutes into this matchup. He was also, again, a little bit later to lane.
Yep.
And he hasn't really had a lot of help from his jungler in this case. And he says, you know what, you can go make plays on the rest of the map. I'll be okay come the late game. Let's get these other lanes really, really rolling. GBM going to take the blue buff. So Vin, I think, making the smart jungle plays.
Yeah, he's certainly got a lot of benefit for his lane players, even if that's not in tons of kills. It is in little objective buffs and things like that. Rock looks like he's going to go back. He knows he's got a little bit of time. Maybe just kind of messing with Hanlebon, actually.
He is
Never mind.
with
Yeah, he's trolling. He trolled me too.
He's definitely messing with Hanlebon. Well, now, because of the situation in this game for Prime Optimus, they need to make a play on the Dragon with the Renekton that is ahead. That is the next stage. You have a big Dragon advantage in the early game with Renekton once he gets his ultimate up. So you have to start turning that lead into something else on the map. It's not going to be a dive right here, but actually a lane swap coming in. Kog'Maw heading up into top side, and this really should prompt some Dragon pressure from Prime Optimus if they know it's good for him.
Yeah. There's old B getting a level while lurking in the brushes up there.
Rock, take a look at this. Kog'Maw is going to be seen by a ward in the tri-brush, so they're going to have to back off.
Yep.
And now Rock going to get some relief in this situation. This is weird. I think they're trying to bait a dive out.
Oh, Rock. Oh, Pilot. Pilot needs to be careful. There it is. They stun him, and he's going to go down so fast. Flashes. Can he get away? Old B gets the kill. Even with the teleport, the tidal wave misses. XD gets the Aqua Prison, but I don't know if they can quite finish him. Rock coming down. There we go, and it's a hard rock life for Old B. It's a hard rock life. Yep. Gonna get a little bit of revenge. Oh, Ziggs with the ultimate, a lot of damage on a GBM. Vin gonna go down too. And Prime Optimus giving a double kill over to their AD carry Zetjin.
Well, that's exactly what Zetjin needed, and that
turret,
patience from Old B kind of paying off up in the top lane. And also, yeah, that was the reveal of Nami being up top as well. There weren't a lot of ultimates in order to stop this. Pilot going to barely save the turret right now.
Yeah, that Aqua Prison saved the turret. XD with a nice move there, but Prime Optimus will just rotate down to Dragon, and suddenly this game turning around a little bit. Prime Optimus grabbing a nice lead.
Yeah, Hanlebon is going to go back. He has the teleport up, so this is exactly what Prime Optimus needs to do. They made the plays, got the kills, and we talked about that. It's critical that they get the kills before they go for the objectives of this composition, because they just have inadequate engage, generally speaking.
A big wave coming into bot lane, so they'll have to send somebody to clear that, but I'm sure Zetjin is more than happy to get all that CS. But the mid lane in a little bit of trouble, so the Jin Air Falcons may be able to equalize here. We'll see. Ziggs should be able to clear out the wave pretty easily, although he doesn't really have much mana right now.
No, he doesn't have enough mana to clear out the wave, actually, so they are going to be able to burn through this tower very effectively.
Nice, wow.
And even if he did have the mana, the scary thing here is the sustain from Nami and the shield from Lulu are going to allow this Kog'Maw to take a couple of turret hits, and he's got long range, so he's not really in a big threat of that engage again.
Yeah.
And XD, if he can rush a Crucible here, it's going to be really important because the one form of engage can just be cleansed off immediately, not to mention you already have just the tons of disengage already.
Yep.
So in spite of this lead from Prime Optimus, they did get the kill onto Jax, which is accelerating his growth. And they need this lead that they've already developed. They need the 1,000 gold lead just because their composition is kind of inadequate.
Oh, Rock trying to go in on the Hanlebon, but there's Kuhl right there, the black shield. Can they trap him? Rock has to flash, and it looks like he'll make it out. Ooh, barely dodging the Dark Binding.
Still, you'll take that. I mean, they wasted a lot of time right there. Zetjin had to use his ultimate down here in the bottom lane. Does get Pilot very low, but Vin already harassing the blue buff. They've got the blue buff control again right here. And Old B is just not there to smite it.
Yep, yeah, they're gonna get the blue buff. There it is, goes over to Vin.
Great blue buff control from Jin Air.
Yeah. Well, you know, we saw how the lack of mana for Ziggs prevented them from saving that mid lane turret. Look at this, Vin in a little bit of trouble, has to repel. Can he get away? He's coming down, flashes over the wall, dodges a Dark Binding. And there's the ultimate. Oh, he lives because of the wild growth from GBM. The shield helping out there as well. Really nice play from GBM. And that keeps the blue buff on the Jin Air side too, so that is big.
Yeah, it definitely really helps. And there's no actual red invade, even though Prime Optimus could have gone and taken a red buff right there. They just decided to back out. Not sure that was the best decision. They're going to take out the mid tower, check the blue buff, but they know everybody's about to be there.
Yep.
So maybe a little bit risky to take that, and Ziggs will have to go for another cycle without a blue buff, and that control doing good things for the Jin Air Falcons.
That's tough. I mean, at least he's got the Athenes now, so he's got the Chalice in there. He's going to have a little bit better mana regen, but again, Ziggs just such a mana hog. You need that blue buff. Jin Air moving up to the top lane now. See what they decide to do. They could use a little bit of clearing in their jungle, too. Some nice wards helping out Prime Optimus.
Kog'Maw, they could put some really good pressure down onto the bottom side tower right now if they wanted to.
Yeah. In fact, if Kog'Maw was up there, they probably wouldn't be able to take it, but they'd come close.
Well, they're playing cautiously. They are afraid of the Twitch. They haven't seen him in a while, but he's going to pop up in the middle of the map on the minion wave right now. So Kog'Maw will have an opportunity to push very aggressively in the bottom lane and see if he can get a few hits down onto these turrets. But they need to be more conscientious of getting some objectives right now so they don't suffer too much of a gold deficit. They're still doing all right.
Yep. Now that XD has joined Pilot, they should be able to push that wave. He's a little bit less afraid. But if you look, I mean, Jin Air doesn't really have a lot of wards in that bottom jungle that are going to tell them where Prime is going to be. A little bit of damage onto the turret. A little bit of damage onto Kuehl, too. Wow, a lot of damage onto Kuehl.
Yep, and that's the danger of the post-6 Kog'Maw, is that poke really does hurt.
Yeah.
And now we do see Vin down in the bottom lane. This is the right play. Just have Lulu hold mid. Rock is doing fine top. He's got his TP up. If he gets chunked, he can come back to lane and just keep that pressure on, although they're not going to really go for it right here.
All right. That turret at a little over half health right now, too, so maybe they could have made a play on it. I guess Jin and Kuehl were right there, but still.
So you have all the disengage
Yeah.
in that situation. That does seem like an overly passive decision. Although looks like they were just baiting out the recall, so they're trying to get this uncontested as soon as they think that they've recalled. So the mind game is actually coming in from Jin Air right there.
Nice.
To be extra safe and still be able to get that objective. So the response from Prime.
Alabon getting jumped on by Rock, but he'll be able to make it out. Looks like they're sending, Prime is sending Zetchin up the top lane. Ziggs bomb comes in. They'll still be able to get the turret, though. Just a couple more turret hits on XD. Yep. Get it. So 2 turrets to 1 now for the Jin Air Falcons.
Yeah, and because Prime recalled, they now have to make a decision about where they're going to go to try and counteract the damage that they just took in that bottom lane, and that turret's nearly dead. Rock's got to run.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, he turns around at just the last moment, and that little delay is going to cost him his life. Tries to leap strike away, but the Morgana ult locks him down.
He had no wards.
Yeah, that was a bit dangerous.
They knew that they had recalled out of the bottom lane, and his turret had 1 HP. That was a very risky decision to stay up in the top side.
May lose this tier 2 as well. It's getting really low. Looks like it'll barely survive, but
GBM needs to be really careful about moving through this jungle.
yeah, close call for the Jin Air Falcons as far as that tier 2 goes.
Now, there is going to be a dragon coming up. Rock does have his teleport. They probably want to give this up and just have Rock push out the top side, but he's going to teleport to the pit. No wards, though, from Prime, but they are in a better position to take this dragon, just in terms of the power spike.
Looks like they'll be able to do it. That's going to more or less even up the gold. And with the turrets even, it's still anybody's game at this point. Yep, they will get it. No engage from Prime Optimus.
Prime did a really bad job of grouping to actually set up wards around that dragon when they had the timer on it. So could have set it up just a little bit better. And that's a big win for Jin Air because they need to just stay somewhat even in order to affect the scaling.
You know, Rock working on his second big item now. Has the blade finish, and he's going to go for that Trinity Force. But Hanlebong already pretty tanky with the Randuins and doing some decent damage with the Brutalizer. Look at that. Ziggs finally gets a blue buff. Congratulations. No math.
Just gets the 4th one of the game.
Yep.
So right here, what the Junior Falcons need to do is actually start buying a lot of pink wards, because you can be confident at this point that you can farm up and get to a 4-1 split push and outscale this Renekton and have the good disengage with your composition. But you need to make sure that Twitch is not going to make 4 plays on you, especially with that Renekton. So the lack of pinks on this side of the map is, there we go, perfect. Good timing.
Yep, not bad. They get the ward in the try.
So it's all about just neutralizing the Twitch, knowing where the Twitch is, so he can't creep up on you. Because if you can avoid that for the next 5 or 6 minutes, you're going to be in a really good situation. They have to give up the blue buff right here. No teleport for Rock, so there's not a lot to contest. They will hand it over. Refreshing no maps buff, actually.
Okay. And Prime Optimus looking to put a little bit of pressure on the top lane while they split with Hanlebong in bot. And there's not a lot that Jin Air can do about it right now.
Well, they have Lulu for the wave clear, but it's cannon minion wave, so the timing is good. There's the smite.
Whoop. Okay. And will Prime be able to push his turn? It looks like they will, unless Jin Air has some sort of engage. Aqua Prison misses. A lot of wave clear on both sides, really, but in the end, Prime should be able to poke down this turret.
Rock going to try and take a red buff right here just so he can trade a little bit more efficiently with this Renekton. Now, they should be able to hold this.
Well, they are for now.
GBM's running a tad bit low on mana. Hanlebong actually going to deal a lot of damage to the tier 1. Not sure that was worth the red buff.
And we'll see. Rock trying to come down to try to save this one. Will he be able to jump onto Hanlebong and make something happen? The turret's still alive. Hanlebong on the run. There's the slice. He's got the dice loaded up as well. There it is. Rock will save the turret for now.
And really no damage dealt to this turret over the course of the siege.
Yep.
And try to catch Kha'Zix. Old B will just go ahead and jump out of the threat.
Oh, Dark Binding nearly hits GBM. That was a close one.
Well, they've actually sieged this all the way into the next cannon mini wave, so they'll be able to get it on this one more than likely.
Huge standoff, but finally, Prime Optimus may be able to do it. Now the wave clear is just too good. Crazy.
Twitch is just terrible at sieging. You see that he's really not been able to get any autos off on this turret whatsoever. It's been all about Ziggs. They're afraid of that cocoon just nailing that Twitch, and then the single target damage from the Kha'Zix finishing him off right there.
Yeah. Nomad has not been able to poke as effectively as they would like. Falcons doing a really good job of dodging things.
And with the red buff, we see Rock has been able to push him off. Finally, they get enough damage down onto these champions, but man, that took a long time.
Yeah. Well, kind of the story of the game so far. Pilot really low. Has to go back. Starts with the P, ends with the T. He's an AD carry.
Starts with a P, ends with a lit.
That's true. He's an AD carry.
So with that, we do see the Prime Optimus lead increasing ever so slightly, and Hanlebong does have that massive CS advantage. Meanwhile, Rock still looking to complete his Trinity Force. He is quite a bit away from that at the moment. It's about 1,200 gold-ish. Can't see the gold totals right now, but should be somewhere in that ballpark. And
so is Jin Air keeping up enough, or is this?
They are.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah, the 3K. Yeah, the 3K gold lead not particularly meaningful. Prime really needs to double that, and then we'll be talking about a pretty substantial advantage for them. But as such, the scaling really great for Jin Air.
All right, I'll let him know.
So it's about even at this stage, and it will, I think, a lot of it come down to this dragon. Now, Jin Air could choose not to fight this and still be okay. In fact, Rock could teleport to the minion wave in top lane and then try and take the tier 1 turret in response.
Yeah, they should really start to sort of set that up now if they want to push objectives instead of go for this dragon, and we'll see.
Now look at this, Hanlebong trying to, maybe getting a bit greedy, trying to take 2 things at once, but it looks like there's just going to be absolutely no defense in the bottom lane, so they're going to give up the bot lane turret as well, making it not so worthwhile as Renekton comes in. They don't have any vision right now around the dragon, but they can see enough members. They guess that it's not actually being taken right yet. Prime Optimus they want to get the mid lane or the bot lane turret, then push in both mid and bot, then take the safest dragon ever.
And Hanlebong has had so much good farming time this game, but 50 CS up on Rock. It's pretty tense here too. Again, like the winner of this game moves on, the loser goes home. This is it. This is the season for each of these teams.
And there is Zetchin just expertly juggling this dragon, taking
wow.
literally no damage
Look
from
at
it.
that. It's not even needing to move.
Oh, he did reset
Now
it,
he did.
though.
Oh, whoops. All right. Close.
Yeah, very close, but there will be a
It's low
turret
enough
taken
now.
up in the top lane by Jack, so at least they traded for something, and they also get Baron control at the same time. That bomb not going to be quite enough.
Yeah, there's still more wave coming in.
Oh,
Dragon taken by Zetchin.
maybe it will be enough now that
so,
Renekton's coming up in the top lane, so this is a pretty bad situation for
nope.
Jair. No,
He gets
he's
it.
going to get it.
You can never underestimate a Jax knocking down a turret, huh?
But still, another 1,000 gold advantage for Prime Optimus. And look at that, Rock immediately teleports down to the bottom lane. He's trying to get huge as fast as possible.
Well, it's working so far. Well, it's sort of working so far. He's behind, but he's not too bad.
He's going to be really close to that Trinity Force, and then he'll be in a great situation.
Yep. Sort of working.
I think he's got it right now.
Yep, there it is. Okay, so now this Jax is starting to get a little bit scary.
Yeah, teleport's going to be down, though, so at least Prime Optimus will have a TP advantage should they try and engineer some sort of 5v4. Their warding has also been vastly superior this game to Jin Air.
Yeah.
This game, they really have been turning their gold lead into a lot of vision. And that's been key because it's all about this Twitch. They know that they're not going to get an engage unless they actually catch somebody out, catch them by surprise.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like you said at the beginning of the game, you know, the only hard engage really they have in that, and I say hard engage with quotes, is the Morgana binding, you know? Otherwise, they need a flank. They're going to try to jump onto gank by Mom with the Ziggs stealth, but doesn't look like it'll work out.
And now they're moving back through the jungle, and this is very dangerous. Jin Air needs wards in their jungle now.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the bait from Baron is going to get really strong for Prime. They've already started. They know that there's no vision on the actual Baron itself, but it's unlikely that, oh wow, sneaky.
Yeah, they're going to teleport Hanlebong in there and see if they can maybe take it. No. Going for that dive. Aqua Prison does lock up. No. They're going to go in onto Jin Air. There we go. Old B getting way in the back line. He manages to jump out. Still getting low. Nice wild growth onto Rock. Can Jin Air turn it around? It doesn't look like they've got enough, although it is a double kill for Rock. He gets out with the leap strike, and Pilot's starting to do a lot of damage from the back lines. They're going to turn on to Hanlebong now, and somehow, some way, Jin Air has managed to turn it around for the moment. Baron getting angry at Hanlebong. Kuehl so low. Oh, the bouncing bomb, though, takes out Pilot. He got a little bit too close.
Yeah, Kuehl with a really clutch Dark Binding, but
Yeah.
that's another 2 kills onto Jax. You saw Jax get onto Zetchin and just destroy him.
Yeah, this game is still open for grabs.
So
Up for grabs.
check this out right there.
Weird fight.
It was a weird fight, and it's a lack of vision that really hurt Jin Air right there, but Rock does get there right in the nick of time to make a big impression. Look at him, flashes forward, gets right on top of Zetchin. Even though he has 3 people collapsing, there's a lot of crowd control still coming in. And how do you deal with this? This is the part where you don't have any engage, and they just kite you forever with Glitter Lance and Void Ooze. So this is the dangerous part. Prime has to take somebody down immediately, or they just run around like chickens with their head cut off.
That's right.
So gold lead closer now, Jin Air Falcons. Pulling back within striking distance.
They're getting there. Yep. Trying to set up a pick here. Will it work? Prime Optimus. Oh, GBM. Oh, Vin gets jumped on as well. They're going to evaporate him very quickly. There's Repel, but he comes on immediately. Nice wild growth, keeps him alive for now. Nomad throws in the ultimate. Rock comes in with the counter-strike, gets away with the Lulu shield. And so they manage to disengage and keep people alive for now. Hanlebong pops his ultimate, so that's going to be out of the way for a little while.
Yeah, missed Glitter Lance right there.
Yep.
But Rock able to stop any kind of counter engage, and this is the issue. There's no engage. Okay, get the Dark Binding. Well, there's the shield, there's the wild growth, and then you get stuck in a choke and you just get tidal waved, and that's it.
Yep. Oh, but is that it? Prime Optimus going for Baron, and it doesn't look like the Jin Air Falcons are aware of this. Oh, wow, they're sneaking this. Can they do it? It's going to take a long time to kill Baron. Look at the Jin Air thinking they're going to set up a pick or something like that, but Prime, they've got the Baron. I don't think there's anything Jin Air can do about it. Nope, that's it. Sneaky Baron for Prime Optimus. Very nice. Wow. Old school KT Bolts would be happy about that one.
Yeah, that really may turn the tides of this game. Finally, they have the lead. Now, will they be able to at least trade a tier 2 turret for this? Jax, nope. Ziggs already just meeting him there. And Jin Air Falcons, their lack of wards.
It's hurting.
So disappointing.
You know, and we see it come down to that. Oh, nice Dark Binding plus the satchel charge. He tries to get Nomad, tries to. Zig slashes over the wall. There's the ultimate on himself. He expected the follow. Rock gets Wild Growth, stays alive, and Pilot manages to come in and take out Nomad from behind.
Wow.
So that is a Baron buff Ziggs already dealt with, and suddenly this Baron buff doesn't seem quite as strong as it did a moment ago.
Well, now you have no way to push lanes without the Ziggs, so they're really not going to be able to do much with the Baron buff, and Rock showing what an absolute monster he is at the moment, 3-1-3. And look at this, Jin Air Falcons deciding to siege, and they can.
They certainly can. Without that Ziggs there, they can take out this tier 2 turret in a heartbeat. Rock does not get grabbed by the Dark Binding. Han Lebong not able to really do any sort of flank there. And Jin Air can back off and feel pretty comfortable. Oh, Rock. Rock, you are bold.
So that was a really good use of that timing window while the Ziggs was down in order just to go ahead and take a tier 2 and pull back within.
Striking distance.
Yeah, really.
Anyway.
Jeez, this game is very, very close.
Yeah. Nomad has the Void Staff now. He's had it for a little bit.
Dragon for Prime Optimus.
Yep, so a little bit more gold for them, but we are getting towards the point where the gold doesn't mean as much. And there are champions on the side of Jin Air that, you know, have enough gold to do tons of damage. Jax is okay. Kog'Maw's in a good spot.
Well, how do you kill this Jax? I mean,
It's not easily.
the shields, the wild growth, it's just so very difficult.
Yeah, a little bit of a heal from Nami as well. And I mean, now he's got the Giant's Belt and the Warden's Mail. Nearly with that finished Randuin's. Prime is able to get a little bit of positioning in the jungle of the Jin Air Falcons, though.
I love the fact that Rock is still split pushing right now.
Yep.
It's about all they can do. He's not really going to help unless they dive. And he has the teleport available in case that happens. So as long as they can keep trading turrets evenly and wear out this Baron, it's a big, big win for the Jin Air Falcons.
Yeah, honestly, that inhibitor is in a little bit of threat here as he's going to go through these turrets.
They have to
so
send
fast.
somebody back.
They do. Who do you send back? It
Renekton.
looks like they're sending Renekton, of course. But Rock's just going to back off, and that takes off all the pressure in the mid lane. That Baron buff, again, just not terribly helpful. They got one turret out of it. That's about it. I think it's going to end soon.
They lost more turrets than they gained.
Yeah, that's the thing. Wow. Crazy.
So now we're just waiting for the Baron to burn off, and the Falcons can actually make a play here again. Rock's caught up in CS. He's finished that very crucial Randuin's Omen, so that if he can get back on this immobile Twitch, he can cut out a lot of damage that's going to be coming from the spray and pray.
Yeah.
Here we go. Everybody heading down into the...
Oh, this could be a nice pick for the Jin Air Falcons sneaking into the brush. Will they get spotted? They see Rock.
They're trying to bait people into making a play onto the Jax, but the Baron buff is still up.
That's true, but...
Barely.
The thing is that even if they have the Baron buff, the surprise factor might help. Ooh, Rock gets pushed back. Can he make it back in time? There's the bait. Goes in on the counter-strike. They're to get engaged. Here comes the tidal wave. They lock up Old B pretty nicely, but the rest of Prime disengaging okay. But Pilot and the rest of Jin Air is going to continue. Vin getting into the back lines onto Nomad. Morgana with a nice stun. Rock a little bit caught there. Zetchin doing damage with the spray and pray. Ends up being a bit of a wash. As
they caught him with the bubble.
They did, but is it enough? Zetchin, no, it doesn't go down quite yet. Old B trying to come around from the outside. If he can get the resets, it's over. Oh, he gets caught by Rock. Has to E away. Dark Binding does catch Rock. A tense moment. Everyone's still up. Oh, Han Lebong coming in. They get him with the Aqua Prison clutch from XD, and Rock comes in from behind. Takes on Old B. Han Lebong goes down. A clutch Aqua Prison that may have saved the game.
Yeah, Rock doesn't want to go in there. Actually, Hanlebon,
either.
that was really smart. He went back, got home guard, and then teleported with max HP back in.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the follow-up wasn't really there, but it was a heads-up play from Prime Optimus.
Wow.
Now, the Falcons are not going to be able to close off of this one. Their Baron can still be contested, so all Jin Air can do is take one turret and then go for a red buff steal.
Yeah.
No dragon.
No dragon, but they really handled this Baron buff on the Prime side well. Let's watch this fight again.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing series of events.
The bait coming in, so he gets, actually he doesn't really get much of a stun there due to the black shield, but they do interrupt the E coming in from Kha'Zix. They get hit by a lot of the Zigzold, so that was a bit of a negative. And then Morgana does a great job of zoning everybody. Hanlebon gets out. Now watch this, he's going to go ahead and recall, then home guard with the heal. Actually, I don't even know if he home guards, but he's just going to get his HP back up and then teleport back in.
Yeah.
So there's Old B on the side. He gets caught out by the pink ward, and there he is coming right back in. There's the home guard for the engage. And man, this looks good, but it's just, his team just isn't quite there. It was nearly such a brilliant maneuver to win the game.
Close. What a team fight. That was, I think that was one of the best team fights I've ever seen in terms of pure intensity. That was crazy. Dragon up about a minute 40, Baron up before that. This game is still really anybody's.
Until Jax gets GA.
Yeah, until Jax gets GA. He's already got the chain vest, he's moving towards it. Jin Air grouping in the river. They're going to clear out some wards and get ready. They're going to try to start that Baron dance and get a bit of vision control.
Jax going to go ahead and move over right now. He used his teleport already, so cooldown will go to Hanlebon in terms of advantage. You want to, can they? They can't actually see that ward. There we go. That was wacky.
Bushes, please. Rito, please. I think people are learning that's a place you put pink wards now. We've seen that a couple games in a row.
So now, control going over, but it's way too dangerous for Jin Air to do this Baron.
Oh yeah, no, they
the
cannot
Zigzold
do
in
it.
the pit would just ruin their day.
Yeah.
But they don't have a teleport either for Jax, so all they can do basically is camp and bait this for a while.
Lane's pushing in their favor though. They've definitely got the advantage right now, even if they are a little bit behind in gold.
Yeah, but Zig's gonna clear that top lane, whatever.
All right, taking out some more wards. Yeah, look at that pink ward in the same spot again. People definitely know the sweet spot. But they don't realize that there's a green ward in there that they didn't spot. That was a nice cover, actually, throwing that in with the pink ward. Clever.
Indeed, the vision mind games.
Yep.
Oh, not quite close enough to activate the Baron right there, so.
Ooh.
Up.
Go for it.
Baron does get aggro, does just a small amount of damage. The pink ward going to be safe, though.
Are they going to engage on this? Black Shield drops a cocoon, so I guess not. Dark Binding did come in and hit a couple members of Jin Air. That was dangerous.
Kha'Zix had to blow his ult, though.
Yeah, that's right. It's kind of a win for the Jin Air Falcons.
As our observer's showing us 2,000 gold on Nomaf right now, and he can't go back.
Yeah, it's way too dangerous to go back.
Now, it would be really important if Jin Air was able to burn the Zigzold on a minion wave.
Yeah.
Because there is that big wave pushing into the inhibitor turret.
They may have to as well. They can't ignore that minion wave for too much longer.
Jax, running with Whimsy.
Thinking about coming in, decides against it. Such a tense moment. The next team fight will decide the game. That's pretty much how it's going to be.
And catch somebody with the Aqua Prison, but there's no actual follow-up right there.
Baron doing a little bit of damage to Pilot.
So another minion wave pushing up. They're going to start it. This is.
Oh, that's dangerous. That's so dangerous. Zigzold's still up. They're going to see it. I can't believe they're going for it. They're going to try to turn on the Hanlebon for the moment. Oh, man. You do not want to get that magic shred on you against the Ziggs.
Now, over the course, the Black Shields have really been on point.
Yeah.
They've prevented a lot of these engages.
Baron dropping extremely fast. It's now or never. Here comes the Zigzold. Nomaf getting ready to throw it in. There's a tidal wave. They do it. They get the Baron. And now they can fight. Nomaf getting ready. Where is he? Only tried to use it. OB low already. Jin Air looking good. Pilot gets a kill, and now they can come over the wall, chasing away Hanlebon. The satchel charge will give Renekton a bit of an edge there, but the massive edge going to the Jin Air Falcons. They got the Baron somehow. They snuck it. And it could be over for Prime Optimus in Champion Summer.
It could be. They still have the Ziggs. Now, the ult was used earlier, which is why Jin Air felt more comfortable doing that.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
And they also knew how fast they could take it down with Cogma and Jax. Just a tremendous amount of percent HP damage.
Yep, well, this is it. This is the siege that decides the seasons for both of these teams. Pilot takes some turret. It's been a bit low. Gotta back off. Gotta wait for that Baron buff to give them a little bit more. Finally, Nomap able to go back and spend that gold. We'll see what he buys.
Yeah, a lot of
gold on everybody right now, actually.
Rock going to go ahead and solo a dragon right here. He does have his GA.
Yeah, he does.
So that's going to potentially be quite important, but there's still no inhibitors down on either team, even though we're nearly 40 minutes into this game. It has been a very tense one.
Yep.
And we'll have to check out and see what happened with that Baron fight again. I hope we do get a replay of that. So everybody's going to go ahead and recall right here. Rock going to take out the double column, so they're just simply clearing out their own juggles. They're going to give the red buff, hopefully to Cogma. Yeah, they will. He needs to be able to peel for himself.
Yep, for sure.
And because Jax already has the Randuins, he'll be able to get enough slow to focus fire.
Yeah. Almost another Randuin's complete for Vin. It's got to be pretty close for him as well.
Blue buff onto Ziggs, not exactly what you want if you're trying to siege down with this Baron buff. That will slow everything down by quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, like we talked about earlier, the turtling potential of Ziggs is pretty undeniable.
But it's the split push here that's really going to do Prime in.
Top lane pushed up a little bit, so Rock is going to take a moment to get back there. So as long as Jin Air kind of plays this out safely, you can wait for Rock to get back in position.
Yeah, that's the thing about some of these low engaged compositions is that you have to just play with vision and hope that the other team makes a mistake. And Jin Air Falcons, you know, they did make a mistake or two, but they had enough mobility, they had enough shields, they had the wild growth in order to make up for any kind of catch that happened around that Baron buff.
Yeah.
And now that we're in this point of the game where we've got the Talisman out, we've got the Mikhails out, in addition to Glitter Lance, Tidal Wave, Void Ooze, Cocoon, how do you actually get onto this team? And with Lulu, with the Lichbane right now, you really don't need too many auto attacks to sneak him in spite of the wave clear from Ziggs.
Pretty incredible game from the Jin Air Falcons overall. They went from 8,000 gold down to now about 2,000 gold up in this game. What a turnaround. A Banshee's Veil pop for Vin.
It's the magic of scaling.
It really is, yeah. Waiting for that little opportunity. The turret about a little over half health. It will regen slowly.
This is good. Just the persistent siege onto the mid lane while Rock slowly pushes up. Finn going to be doing the same in the top lane.
Yeah. Just to get all those lanes pushed up.
Yeah, they have enough disengage as it is, so Finn doesn't necessarily have to be there as long as Cog, Lulu, and Nami play cautiously, which they do. They pull back immediately.
Yep, went back into the jungle and hid for just a moment.
And here we go. Oh, nice damage onto Kha'Zix.
Yeah, Old B took some damage there. Needs to be careful.
And this may be the last push of this game coming in.
Rock does have that GA. And the middle turret a little bit low here. Oh, Rock gets a bot turret too.
Yeah, that's the turret that's going to go down. It's the one that's going to be not in the Ziggs lane.
Yep. Oh, the inhibitor in jeopardy. It's all falling apart for Prime Optimus right now. Rock, they're going to chase him, but even though they've got the GA, and here we go. Now the engage comes in. The wild growth on the Hanlebong used early on, and rather on Rock. Hanlebong low already. A big Ziggs ult. Can they capitalize on it? Nomap comes in. Rock jumps back onto him. Old B locked up for the moment. They're going to turn onto him now. GBM getting in position. Rock is just a monster. Getting on the Old B. The Black Shield can only do too much, or so much. Jin Air has to play cautiously. Rock, the Banshees, or the GA was popped. Oh, there we go. Now his whole life is popped.
But that said, there weren't any kills for Jin Air.
Crazy.
So they kited it out. Now they did lose 2 towers. And Rock will be alive. So basically, Prime has to rush the mid lane and see if they can get an inhib and hope that Janair isn't able to defend this. But again, poor siege from Prime is going to make this quite difficult.
Yeah.
Especially everybody going back, topping up on life. And I don't think Prime's going to be able to crack this before Rock comes back up.
Well, it's about 30 seconds.
Wow, now I have Warmogs as well for Rock.
This is turning into one of the closest games we've ever had.
So it comes down to can Prime get an inhibitor in next Baron.
Old bead, nice black shield. Kuhl's really done a good job with those this game.
And look at that, Zetchin just can't even get close to Siege. He's
Yep.
too immobile.
Yep,
His
that's
range
Twitch.
is too short. And that's it. That's going to be it for Prime Optimus unless they have a miracle right here.
Yeah, well, even with the miracle flank, Zetchin still at about half health. And there's the teleport rock coming in
boy.
from behind. They could have them trapped. And look at this, Vin coming in. They're jumping onto Nomaf right away. He's able to satchel charge out of there. Leaves the inhibitor very vulnerable. The cocoon onto Nomaf. Vin coming in. Rock gets the kill, and that could be it. There's the wild growth onto Rock. The nice knockup. OB running away. And Zetchin trying to get in from behind, but it may be a bit too low. Good spray and pray over the team, though. But I think without Nomaf there, it's just going to be too much. There goes the first inhibitor. They may just take the second one as well. Yeah, just playing it safe, finishing it off. But with 40-second death timers on two members of Prime Optimus, it looks like their champion summer hopes could be over. Rock onto Zetchin. Now the Black Shield keeps him alive for a little bit longer. Oh man, this is it though. First Nexus turret goes down. Prime Optimus clinging to life by just a thread. It looks like it's going to be too little too late. There goes On the Bong. Another kill for Rock. Zetchin trying to get in from behind, but he gets caught. Gets caught by Pilot. Gets taken down. And there goes the Nexus. Jin Falcons back in Champions. Prime Optimus done until Champions Winter.
Yeah, sad times for Prime Optimus. They showed a lot of